Hiya YouTubers, I am JabeerIni and as promised, this is a taste test video of that double IPA we brewed in episode 8. And here we have it. This beer has been bottle conditioning for almost 3 weeks now, and it was dry hopped on day 8 since we brewed it. On the top right corner you'll see a wee video of me dry hopping it. There's not too much science to it, it's just the addition of hops to the fermenter. But I thought it would be nice if I shared that moment with you, so you can have a full vision of the process. As I was saying, it was dry hopped with 3 grams of Amarillo hops in pellets. You don't have to do this, but since they were pellets, I crushed them with a mortar. And my reasoning is that since there is more surface in contact with the wort, or with the almost beer by that time, well, it would add more aroma to the beer. Let's talk about ABV. The original gravity of this beer, as you may remember, was 1066. And the final gravity, here's a pic, as you can see it was 1020. So according to Brewer's Friend's ABV calculator, this beer is 6.04% ABV. Another success, at least from an ABV perspective. And that's it for the technical part. Now, without further ado, let's get reviewing. Let's open it. Very good sound, not too much smoke coming out of the bottle. Now let's pour it. I would say I could almost pour it entirely because I'm not seeing any residue or particles, but I'm not gonna leave it like that. Wow! Wow, look at that clearness and that color. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's very clear. Let me use my cell phone. Here's the beer. Look at that color. I would say it's more red than I wanted. Look at those beautiful carbonation bubbles. It's got a very stable carbonation. I'm getting good at that. And look how clear it is. Look how clear it is. I mean, probably if I point like this, you'll be able to see my finger. I'm not too sure if you could see my finger there. But there it is. There's the beer. Now let's smell it. It's wow. Wow. The first thing you notice is pure Amarillo. It's a very punchy and pleasant aroma. Wow. Only with the smell my mouth is watering now. Wow. I would say, honestly, let's start with the basic things. Clearness. Even if it's very hoppy, I see that it's got some haze. It's not a chill haze. This hasn't been in the fridge. It's not entirely clear, but it's very clear. It's one of the clearest beers I've ever brewed. So this and way to Amarillo, wow, extremely satisfied, which leads me to a conclusion that I'll share with you at the end, if it all goes good. So clearness, excellent. I would say 9 out of 10 for me, but it's still a 10 out of 10 for me because I like this. I like when beers are not entirely crystal clear. It's like a hint that it's a craft beer, and this one will, of course. Now color. My intention was to obtain a lighter color, a pale red color, reddish. This is almost solid red, but not a problem for me. So in terms of my expectations, I would say 6 out of 10. But in terms of the product, for me, that's a 10. Aroma, 11 out of 10. It's if you are a hop lover, and especially if you're an Amarillo lover, this, I think you'll find this very pleasant, very enjoyable. And now, the most relevant part. Let's dive in. Cheers! Wow! Wow! As you may remember, this is the beer that I'll be using for the homebrew competition I'm organizing for the summer. Now I know for sure that there are high chances that I don't end up in the last place. Let me give you more details. The first thing you notice is a powerful punch of all those hops we used. This beer is predominantly citrus. It's also fruity. I would say 70% citrus, 30% fruity. There's very good balance between the bitterness and the sweetness of this beer. That was one of my concerns, because with the amount of hops that we used, even if the bittering hops were calculated for it not to be extremely bitter, I was still afraid that I could end up with a very bitter beer. But this is happily not the case. It's got the right amount of bitterness, and it's also got a wee bit of sweetness that balances it all in a very complete way, I would say. There is a dry end in all grains that you don't get with extracts. I don't know why exactly, but I would say it's very interesting. It's a lovely, very refreshing beer. I would classify this one as all year IPA. It's perfect for summer, but I can imagine drinking some of these in the cold days as well. Let's give it a whirl for you to see the stability of the carbonation and the potential, the foam potential of this beer. And this is, you do remember I was telling you there's two things that I wanted to share with you at the end if it all went good? Well, yes. There it is. It's a very stable carbonation, and if I keep whirling it, I'll end up with a lot of foam. There it is. Which is very interesting. I can't deny it's very interesting for appreciating better all those hops. Yep. So my two conclusions. Number one, carbonation. You can see that the carbonation is still there, very stable. It's not a highly carbonated beer, that's what I was aiming in this recipe. And this is a common thing that I've gotten with Way to Amarillo. And Way to Amarillo was the second batch on which I started using brewing sugar for priming. Before I was using table sugar, and I was getting those fizzy, unstable carbonation that I no longer have with this. So tip number one, never use table sugar for priming. Instead, use brewing sugar. It's actually not expensive at all, and the level of improvement that you get is, well, it's worth it. Second conclusion, it's got relation with everything, with the overall product, I think with the clearness, I think with the flavor, with the quality, with the very high quality of this beer. And I am 99.99999% sure that this is all because I used Mangrove Jack's M44, if I don't remember wrongly, yeast. That is the best yeast in the world, at least for me. Look what you can get with that. I'm not being paid to say this. People from Mangrove Jack's, if you want to pay me for saying this, money's welcome. But no, currently I'm not being paid to say this. This is my honest opinion, and I would advise you to at least give it a try. You will notice the difference. Before I was using cheaper yeasts, not the cheapest ones, but I was using cheaper yeasts, and basically you don't notice the difference until you try this one. Lastly, you can see there in the back we got our Broadened 6.2 IPA Cologne. It's in its last days of fermentation. I already dry hopped it, and I think I'll be bottling it tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Of course, you know, I'll be posting a taste test video of that one once it's ready. For the time being, this is it for this very successful taste test video of this lovely double IPA. If you like what you see, like, and don't forget to subscribe. And as usual, thanks for watching. Cheers and extremely good beers!